Hello, this is Emily back from Grammy's Garden. I'm getting ready to plant garlic, and I'm doing it late this year due to the fact that we've had such a warm fall, but I've had something growing in about every bed I've got out there. And I'm just now where I've got some beds cleaned out, and I made the decision which bed I wanted the garlic in. I tend to plant garlic in one spot in my raised beds, and then I will put some here and there among the tomatoes in hopes that it'll keep tomato worms away. I've even put it among my cabbages and the brassicas in general. Last year this year I only grew the cabbage, and here I got this broken up. I grew cabbage and broccoli, and I planted a little bit among that, trying to keep those white moths away. And it did pretty well, actually. So I've broken this up. This is Music garlic. It's not my own garlic. I would like to be able to plant my own garlic, but fortunately there is a nursery nearby here. It's probably about a 40-minute drive, 35-40-minute drive, which I enjoy going in there and looking around in that nursery. So I'll plant it. This part will be up, and this part right here, the bottom part, that is the root part. So I've got the bed ready. I put compost on it, and I worked the compost into it because that bed had some heavy feeders in it, and I need to be sure that there's going to be nutrients for these little guys to grow. I'm just really hopeful that they're going to be able to take root because I've waited so long. It was like nothing's happening, and then, oh yeah, here it's coming. So as far as temperatures. So I wanted to show you something about garlic that you can do. If you hear people talk about garlic scapes, or if you've watched my channel where I'm working with garlic scapes, you know it's better to just look up what's a garlic scape than me explain it, because I don't have a picture for you, unfortunately. But at the top of that garlic scape, this is a stem, and it goes down into the garlic plant. It shoots it up at a certain point, and this is the flower. And the flower will start putting out these little bubules, I think is what I heard somebody call them on Gathering Basket Homestead. And this is what they look like. Now, I've seen people, and I've tried it myself, just eat these raw, just like they are right now. What I did last year is I took these little guys, and these are really dehydrated. I don't know that they would ever work. These are from year before last. I've seen people take these, and you can use them just like garlic. They taste just like garlic. They're a garlic seed, actually. And they come from the flower, the pretty flower that it sends up on the scape. Now, if you don't cut the scape off down near the leaves, what happens is the energy that you want to go into growing these nice big garlic bulbs, like I showed you, this is the bulb. Instead of growing this, what will happen is energy will go ahead and produce the flower, because this plant's wanting to reproduce itself. And all of these little goodies are the seed, and that's gonna reproduce it. So last year, not last year, I keep saying last year because I keep thinking that we're already into another planting year, and we're not. This will be all I plant as far as I know this year in 25. So what I did this last spring that we've just come out of, I planted one of these little seeds among a couple tomato plants. And the other day, whenever I was clearing out my tomato plants, I thought, go look for that garlic, because my garlic didn't do well this year. I have some wonderful cloves, wonderful heads, and then I have some that have been all chewed on by something, and I've not figured it out. I do have what I would call an infestation of pill bugs, or wood lice, or roly-polies, whatever you want to call them, and it's been going on for 3 years. They even try to get in my house. They do get in my house. That's how bad this area's got wood lice, which I haven't figured that out either. But, so I went looking for the garlic, or this little seed that I had planted among tomato plants, and that was this week, and I pulled 8 of these. So this is what came of it. That one seed produced 8 of these, which these look like garlic cloves, right? They taste like garlic cloves too. But when I cut the stem off, because this was all green, when I cut the stem off, the stem has gone down in this, I'll show you. And it made some of these not very edible, and that they're just mostly, they'll just peel away. I'll show you. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. The sun's right in my eyes right now, but I got planting to do. You know what I mean? So I'm doing the best I can. But look, see this, how this goes right down in there. And yeah, this would taste like garlic. It does taste like garlic. And it smells like garlic, the stem too. But this isn't really as usable as I want to. Like last night I cooked lasagna and made garlic bread. I want the garlic bread to really taste like good garlic. So I use some of my cloves from this year. So what we're gonna do next, if you'll hang in here with me, if you'd like to, we'll go down to my garden, and I've got the bed ready, and I'm gonna plant this much. I have limited space. I do what really most people would call backyard gardening. It's amazing how much food comes out of a backyard garden. I have 8 raised beds, and my son built them for me, and I just talked to him this past week and told him come spring I'd like to have 2 more. So it grows amazing food, just amazing vegetables. Nothing has failed. I haven't had a bad crop. Some of these beds did 2 rounds of things. First it did brassicas, and then I put in some corn. Corn's not ideal in raised beds, let me tell you. This year the corn actually didn't even germinate. The silks were all there, everything was good to go, and it just didn't germinate. So I ended up with a bunch of corn stalks I had to cut down the other day and throw them in the pond. So what do you say we get on with this, and it'll be the shorter part probably of actually planting them, because that's the easy part. To me, planting is such a joy, and I'm praying that right now that this produces, because I really, garlic in my mind and the minds of many, many people is a medicinal vegetable, a medicinal plant. It's a member of the alum family, like onions are. And then I plant some pretty alums for the yard, alum bulbs, and just for beauty. But there's nothing in my garden that's not been beautiful this year. There are some things I'm not going to plant again, and I might do a video on that. I'm not going to plant them as I did again for sure, because I made a mistake of planting my snow peas so they would cling to the cattle panel arch, and they produced beautifully, and I froze a lot of peas. The second thing I did is I amended the soil, but I planted 2 rows on each side of the cattle panel, 1 on each side of it, of pole beans. Now my green beans did fantastic. This is for a whole nother video that I want to talk about what I wouldn't do again, because I tend to be an overplanting person. I just do. I plant way too much of everything that I can plant, and I don't plant foods that I don't eat. Out there in my garden right now, I'm looking at it, I've got turnips that are delicious in another bed. This is the 3rd round for this bed of stuff being grown in it. I just took, I planted some spinach, a small roll of spinach, just to eat, like in an omelet or just stir fry it. And in that same bed, I had an old sack from 5 years ago that had seeds that you could tell there was a beet seed here and there, but I just cast them out on the soil. Carrots, carrot seeds, they came up. As hard as people have a hard time growing carrot seeds, they came up this fall. And they're not going to be big enough to harvest, I don't think. I might pull one when we're out there. But they just did it. I just kept them watered. And we have been in drought. You've heard me mention that so many times if you follow my channel. It's been frustrating. Drought for years. My oldest son said to me last night, do you remember us ever having a time when we didn't have rain like we have not had rain? And he said, do you remember how it used to rain? Like in the summer it rained. And I mean, like fairly often you would have a nice soaky rain. We're not getting them anymore. We're just not. I'm in Missouri. I don't know if it'll go to the north of us. We're in central, and it'll go to the south and flood in the south of the state. But here, we're not getting enough to hardly mention. We're still in drought. So, I'm going to take the camera and my bags of stuff and get a big swig of water, and I'm going to go down there and we're going to plant garlic. I'm trying to get everything out of my way. I've got so many tomatoes laying all over my yard. I would start to pick my tomatoes, and unfortunately there would be pill bugs and a little tiny black bug I didn't recognize down inside. So I'm going to plant these. We get really cold here in the winter time. Not all winter long, but we're cold. I mean, we're a cold climate in the winter. But I'm going to come out about this far, and I'm going to just dig a little hole. And I found that I can get fairly close to the edge of this bed and it doesn't matter. I want a pretty good sized hole, and I'm going to put on gloves because I have a burn on my hand from my, oh, I don't think I left my gloves up there. I have a burn on my hand from my oven rack. And I don't want that to get infected. I think that soil we grow in is pretty much clean stuff, but I just put compost on this morning and worked it in good. So, as I told you, I take this side down, this side up. And I'm going to stick it down in there, and I'm going to leave that spot. I'm not going to cover it up yet because I want to know right where I'm at. And another one. I've got so much cleaning up work to do out here, you all. It's something. Got a lot of it. I'm going to be curious as to how much I have here. I might have 2 rows. I'm not sure. And I'm going to water it in. They need a little bit of water to give them a boost, and since I'm already fearful for their welfare, I want to be sure they get a boost. I like growing my garlic near my tomatoes. I'm not putting tomatoes in this bed again because I had them in this bed this year. But I will put some garlic here and there. Oh my, imagine that, a potato peel. I put scraps out in my garden. Not all the time, but sometimes I do. And I don't know if it helps me or not, but it hasn't ever hurt anything. So, next. Now my dog Pumpkin that you all have met, she should have been a farm dog. She might have been. I got her from the Humane Society. Ignore me while I pull out this tomato plant. I chopped, like I said, I took this hori knife and I chopped off some of my tomato plants. Look at that, isn't that something? I'll throw it over there. I still have lots of dill growing, and I need to, it's all volunteer, but I don't care. I love volunteers. If it's a volunteer, I say keep it, because it wants to grow, and it will grow another year, but if it has a chance. And usually I have seeds all over the place from it, but I have a whole bed of it over there that I need to dry it. I usually don't use much dill in cooking. I use dill mainly when I'm making pickles. So you all think of me and this garlic, okay? That it works.